Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Friday, September the 24th, and starting with the ASX here on the daily chart. As you may know, we've been looking for wave A to wave B. Once that's completed, then we'll look for wave C here. We have to be a little bit careful because this particular move here is in three waves. It's already corrective. So that means that, well, it could go further to the upside, but obviously, this block through here is the resistance, and this is the strongest, largest number in that zone there, the 500. So we'd really need to have that 500 as the support before we saw a new bullish move to the upside. So, but we'll keep that in mind. On the 4-hour chart, it sort of looks okay, which everything's going according to plan. And a couple of things I point out here is that the A wave is the strongest, and we can see that the C wave is starting to become on more of an angle. So that's a good sign, because if it was the third wave to the upside, it would be just as powerful as wave A here. So we are seeing that divergence in that angle there, so that's good. Like I said, there's lots of resistance, coming into that 500. So we would need to see the 500 as a support, or we would need to see an impulse wave to that particular point in time coming up into that. So instead of having wave A here, we'd have to have wave 1 and 2 here, and then a third wave up here, a fourth wave and a fifth wave, and then the ABC correction. So in a way, if we were looking at being at bullish here, we would look at wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then wave 3 up into this space, finishing off up in here somewhere, and we'll look at that. Then wave 4, and then wave 5, and then we would have an ABC correction at that point. And then because we've got 5 waves in that direction, then we can look to go along over here into the next 5 waves. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's possible because we've got this as a corrective pattern. Otherwise, we'll just keep working this particular pattern here. So in this pattern here, it would just be the A, the B, and the C wave to here. So we're counting 5 waves from wave B to wave C. So even if this pulls back here, we won't know straight away, but we'd just be thinking that it'll be down for wave 1, back for wave 2, and then down for wave 3, so to speak, and so on. So it'll take a little while to sort of distinguish if we're going to get that 5th wave. And if we get that 5th wave there, we don't really have to trade it, because we're going to get this pullback at that point anyway, and then we'll look to get in. So yeah, once again, I'm just looking at the other side of the coin, that's all. So long as you know sort of where we are. Okie dokie, let's just move into the hourly chart here. And the wave structure is looking quite good as such, but there's still further upside to go. So there's no problems with this first wave as wave A or wave 1, and then wave B was all good, so we don't need that. And then we've seen that nice little impulse wave here. I don't know if you can see 5 waves inside of that, but as wave 1 and 2 here. And then we started churning and building from that point. So we made the assumption that was wave 1, which seemed to be right. We've got nice wave 3 here, nice size in relationship to that little wave 1 here. And then wave 4 has an overlap wave 1, so that's all in good shape. And now this little move up here, that will take us a little bit higher in this regard. So that will be 1 and 2 will go up for 3, 4, and 5. So we can just take that a bit higher there. And then we're going to have wave 4. So we're not going to be seeing bearish moves today in this market. Well, not far as I can see anyway. Didn't quite get that right, did I? So wave 4 here. I mean, wave 4 can pull back to wave 4 here, so just be a bit careful about that. And then wave 5, I'll just bring that down a bit there. And this wave 5, put this out the way for a moment. The length of this wave 5 here can be, because the extension's in wave 3 here, so we can look at these two being roughly the same. That's about roughly the same. So that will take us up, I don't know, wherever it goes to up there, pretty close. And then we'll either have our wave 5 of C of B in place, or we'll have to look at that as wave 3, but we won't know that if that's wave 3 until we start getting this move down here that we could recognize as a wave 4, you know, as a corrective wave. So I won't know that at that point. If we do get a nice 5 waves down at this point, then we can look to short, if that's clear. You know, if we've got a nice 5 waves like this or like this coming down, because then we can just look at this as the A, the B and the C rally coming into here, and then we can look to short under here. So yeah, unless we see this in 3 waves, then we'll know it's a wave 4, and we'll need to understand the long side from that point. But yeah, so that's it there. That's the structure as far as I can see. So we've got, I don't know, we've still got, you know, good few solid days to the upside there, haven't we? At least 2 or 3. So if that's going to go up, that's going to take the banks up, isn't it? The resources could go up. If the banks and the resources are moving together, then this moves along quite quickly, the ASX at that point. So let's just have a look at the banking sector. I think what I might do is I'm just going to have a look at the US banks for a moment. So this is Morgan's. This is, I don't know if I labelled that very well. I might just go to, I think we were looking at Goldman Sachs last time. So we'll look at Macquarie's as well. So I was looking at this as wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here. Then we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which we could call in the top here. And Goldman's was the one that made a highs above its wave 3 over there, where the Bank of America didn't do that. We'll look at that next. So then we were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, and then a pullback. So we've got that pullback into that box there. So we could be looking at wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and wave 5. I mean, there is a relationship between all the banks, of course, because money flows, you know. So yeah, based on that 5 waves, because when you look at the Bank of America here, the BAC, that we had the wave 3 here with the ABC, then we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So then we're looking for this to come back into here. So we don't need that thing on. So we're going up into a 3rd wave here for this. So, you know, do we follow that up? You know, is this structure here going to be in line with the ASX that we're looking at? I mean, this seems a bit longer here. Yes, it hasn't taken the top out here, but Goldman's have. And what did Morgan's do again? Morgan's, they're lazy too, so we can look at that as wave 1 there and wave 2 there, and it's starting to take off as a nice wave 3, isn't it? Yeah, so that's that. So when we have a look at our banks, just got to go to a different charting program. This is just a little penny stock here. My friend at the hardware, little young chap, was buying into a brain chip. So it's an AI company, Australian market. BRN is the code. And I think it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So picking it up at 38 or 40 might be sort of okay. If it drops down to 30, buy again. If it drops down to 20, buy again. This is, you know, this is typical penny stock kind of stuff. If it finds support on 50, then you want to be loading up on this, because it'll take out, you know, the dollars, and it'll be in its next spike at that point. But yeah, BRN is just looking quite good. But anyway, apart from that, we want to have a look at Macquarie's first, because we know that Macquarie hit the 180 there at the minor level there, and we can see now that it's had its ABC correction, so it's sort of got the same movement as the banks. I mean, in this case here, I'd count this as 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 here for the third wave. So another fifth wave to go up there based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another move up there for Macquarie's. Will it reach 200? I don't know, but anyway, that should push up higher. Then, I mean, that would be the only one. I'll just have a look at the XFJ, the finance sector. This is also at a medium level here, so that medium level there, 65, you know. I mean, this moved down. I mean, that didn't make a new high above here, so that means that we should have one more move here. So if that's some sort of A wave and B wave here that hasn't taken out the top, and this is a C wave, well, then we'd have 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So will we get that other 5th wave down here before we build up again to the upside? It's not really telling me much. What's the banking sector looking like? Same pattern as well. So it'll be interesting to see if that goes up there or back down, because as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, it was up on higher volume. So how are the other banks going? Have a look at the Bank of Queensland first. If it found support on 930, we'd go long at that point. Let's just have a look at some others, just some of them don't normally look at. Bendigo. That's got a bit like Commonwealth Bank that dropped and then rebuilt, and this has dropped further, so this would be the one to short, of course, but it's going to bounce off $9. We could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. So it's still just left with 3 waves. So this is still more bearish, this one. And CBA is just sticking to that 100. I mean, I thought that, you know, first of all, we never really got nice 5 waves up there. We could jam that in there, I guess. And we could always look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming down. But we only had sort of 3 waves here. So I thought that we would get, you know, after this bouncing across the 100, I thought we'd get a drop down for that, or even an A and a B and a C, something further down here. And as I keep mentioning, we can't go long on this until we got support on 105. Let me just have a look at this on the tick chart. Let's go to the banks. Yeah, I really don't know. I just can't get a grip on this here. You know, if the correction unfolded more like a 5 wave move down through here, that would be fine, and that's kind of what we're looking at. So let's just stay with this for a moment. Let's just find out from that top. I mean, if the US banks are going to go up, you know, are we going to follow them up? That's the thing. And should we be long? You know, the only case for being long I can see would be yes, the US banks are moving up, and I would only be long because we're above 100, you know. But to me, this is just the plonk and then the drop and the bounce. So really, you know, I mentioned up here at 105, that's a long way away. So that's the 61.8% mark there at 101 or 102. Look, if we got a nice tested support on 102, which would be part of Group 1, then we could look to go long there. and also build in on and look for support. Get half a trade there, and the other support would be on 3. So getting a test, if we got a tested support on 2, we could go long, and a very small position, and then build on 103, and then look to trade to 105, either get out or wait to build on top of that. We just got to be careful we're not going to come back down through here. But if the ASX is going to go up, shouldn't these guys be going up as well at that point? Yeah, so I'm just a bit unsure, you know, and it's kind of me not knowing has sort of saved us from being involved in a lot of this here. But obviously it's going to break at some point. Yeah, and ANZ. Now with ANZ, what I can see here is that this is not the high, and these spiky highs here, one of these would have to be played out, and probably this one here. This one here is like in 3 waves, but this one here now is in 5 waves here. So it's possible that we could look at this as a wave 4 over here that we had before. Either wave 4 as wave 3 here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 4. I'm just going to dull that out a little bit. And have we've either got wave 4 there or wave A. In this case, because we've got 5 waves here, we're going to see that move up there. The question is does it move up to the B wave and drop, or does it continue up from that point? I just don't know. But I think we did talk about being long here too, didn't we, on this low? Or maybe we didn't. Maybe it was one of the other resource stocks. But it's not a very good 5 waves up here either, because this is overlapping this one here, that one to that one. It can be wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and building here, but otherwise that overlap there would create this as a corrective rally. That's just between those two there, so let's just see if that... Just not enough information to go long on here, not a clear 5-wave structure. But what I wanted to say is from the top up here, I'll get rid of the D there because that's not talking about the triangle anymore, but 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave. So in one way or another, we should be going higher here. And with the US banks going higher. So if you want to have a crack at that, well then that's kind of where it's at the moment. But I don't have enough evidence to give you a good trade setup on that point. Okay, so that's the banks. I'm still unclear about the banks, but I can see that the US banks are clearer. That they're, you know, if I had to buy anything, I'd be buying those US banks and not the Australian banks, even though the Australian banks can push up in line with the ASX. But I just don't have that. I just don't have a good setup for them, you know. Okay, so China. Let's just have a little look at China on the indices for the Shenzhen or the comp here. Okay, yeah. So that's got, not that you can see the volume that well there, but we talked about yesterday. You know, this pushing up here, so that's good. So the trend's intact there for the Chinese market. So I'll just stay with this. If this breaks here, we'll rejig the count, but otherwise 1 and 2 here. And if that was the case, then you can go long above this here on the A50. Now, it may just be an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, but if you made that a small position that you didn't have to sweat it out over, then that would be okay. And then you could put the other half of the position on there, on this 1650, we can look to build that. Okay, but we're a long way from that yet, and this could certainly drop down at that point. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. And also, how's India doing? Okay, it's on its way to our next target, so that's where we're looking at up here for that. That'll probably go just above the 18, but it will turn, so just be... I'll put that there, just... Yeah, I mean, whatever, you know, we've talked about it enough. We can put that under there now as well, which we'll do. And, yeah, so, I mean, a trailing stop loss is a good stop loss. So you know, maybe just use the daily bar, or can you use the weekly bar? Let's check out the weekly bar, see how this travels. Yeah, the weekly bar is fine. You could just do that, but it's a long way from there to there, or even the monthly bar. Haven't checked this for a while, but there we go. Just looking at the robo method, how it would work with this, so that's all good. We are looking for that top, so I'll need to rejig all of that. I'll do that in due course. The next level here, of course, there'll be profit taking at 18, but 20 is what we're looking at. That's the next major level anyway. Okay, so just come back to our daily chart there. Is still a fair way up there, but we want that wave 4 correction. Okay, so resources, iron ore. So as I mentioned, this is the 650 here. If you know the trading levels, you'll know that 65 carries a lot of weight, just an unexpected number, but let's just see the consolidation here for a while. You know, it's come through, it's come back, and it's sticking there for a while. Let's just allow it to be, and we'll cruise and have a bit of a look at that on the intraday and the tick chart next week. And we want to have a look at crude oil. Okay, so that's popped up. So we were looking for a bit of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we'll just see how that 5 waves goes in there. Anything beyond that 5 wave structure, then we'll know that we're bullish at that point. So we need to just allow that 5 waves to be. So we'll pick up that next week, and anything above that, that means that we'd be bullish at that point. So that would be a positive, and that wave 4 would come into play at that point. So I noticed gold fell out of bed, so that's really destroyed our count, and I just need to think about that for a moment. So I won't be able to resolve that in this video, because we had wave A here with an A and a B and a C wave. Everything was going fine, and then we even had little 5 waves here, and then we've taken that low out here where we shouldn't have done that, because we had that 5 waves there. So, you know, moving up at that point, so moving below this here, that's really put a spanner in the works. I know that with one of the things that first jumped to mind is silver, because with silver we were looking at this wave 4 here to this wave 5 here, and we'd counted down. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here, and then we're looking for wave 5 to come down to make a new low there. It's kind of getting there, isn't it? We'll need to tidy it up a little bit and have a little bit of a look at it and all those sorts of things, but we can put that there and that there, and let's see if, well, obviously need to move all these across, but let's just delete them for the time being. So it'll be sort of interesting to see if how this plays out here, if we are going to get this lower here and then this wave 4 and then this wave 5 here, because we could tie that pattern in with the gold pattern if that's going to be the case. I mean, this could just be bullish as well. It would be bullish if we take that top out there, but otherwise looking at this to sort of head on down to make a new low here and then over to here and here, and then up, then that's what we'd be sort of thinking at this stage. So that means that coming back to gold, in one way or another, we're in that triangle pattern, you know. I mean, my first instinct is to do something like this, but my problem with that is that we have 5 waves here. So there's a problem somewhere. Anyway, I'll get my head around it. But yeah, perhaps in the next video we can look at that. But yeah, I don't have an answer, but taking that low out there, that's breached that and chucked a spanner in the works. But it does tell me that we're in, because of this, but I kind of knew that already because of the length of wave B here took to occur, that we're in the triangle pattern, not the irregular flat. So we'll be dancing in there somewhere. Yeah. So we're right on that 61.8%, so any rally that would be part of that as well. But, I mean, have I counted that wrong there? But I counted everything was just perfect except for this spiky business here. Okay, I need to ponder that. That's a spanner in the works. Okay, so it's crude, gold, silver, copper. So with copper, obviously something weird is happening. So we had 3 waves up here. We thought we may have been bullish at that point, but we just ended up with 3 waves, and I knew something was wrong straight away, so that we fixed that. This move that's come down through here, that's also in 3 waves as well. So I'm wondering if we've got, this is the A wave here, then an A and a B and a C for the B wave here. So that would give us a decent size. That would give us a B wave that would have some sort of relationship to the size of wave A here in that case. But that would also give us 5 waves up at that point. So we'll need to understand that a bit more. So that's only given us 3 waves down here. But obviously that's hit the 61.8% at that point. Is that 5 waves up at that point? That's the question. And if that's 5 waves, that brings us down to this point, which we can just use the inverse of that for the 61.8%, which is there, of course. So I'm wondering if we just sort of have some sort of correction here and have 3, 4, 5 here. So from the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here, or do we just fail from that point and this is some sort of A wave, B wave and C wave all tucked up nicely in that point and going down further? But that is definitely 3 waves in that point there. So we've got 3 waves here, we've got 3 waves here, so we're in some sideways corrective pattern. So it turns into a bit of a guessing game at this point. So I've got that as wave 1 there, but that's just a guess. Well, can't do that. That would be 1 and 2 here, and 3, maybe the A, B and C for the 4th and the 5th. So we'd still need to see a move down on that here for that and that. So I think that's sort of where we are at this point. So it's just this wave 4 is just getting just doubling and tripling in size. It's kind of, when markets do that, it's kind of waiting for other things to fall into place. Something's not right in the world, but we know that. We're not in heaven at the moment, are we? Don't think so. Okay, so let's move on to the Aussie dollar, which is still not giving us any clarity because I don't have clarity on the US dollar index as well, but just to sort of hash over what we've been hashing over. It's possible that we could, we've got the A, the B and the C in play here, and we can move up as an A wave or wave 1 and back here and then continue to the upside. If the 72 becomes the resistance, then we'll need to look at this as being a 5 wave structure to the downside. So we're still just a bit of a rock and a hard place here for the moment with this. It's a daily chart for the Aussie. So that brings us back over to the US dollar index over here. So I'll just need to go into the DXY. So we're talking about yesterday's just a daily chart here. It's possible that we can just fail from where we are here and come straight down. That would be nice, and that would take us back to our old count. But if we are going to make a new high, then we need to look at this as wave B here, 1 and 2 and 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then heading up for wave 5 there. So from the daily we can go to the 4-hour chart, which won't give us much clarity, but a little bit. I mean, as a corrective move here, we could put wave 4 here and wave 5 there. Nah, squashing things up, Pete. Let's just see how it plays out, shall we? This is 93. What's this one here? Don't need that. Okay, that's sitting right on 93 there. We'll just wait here for a bit. Let's see if we're going to be pushing higher or lower. This is the point where we'll know. But even if we do push higher, there should just be one more wave to come in through here. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here. Wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here. Or we could put the wave 5 here and have a top in play and come down at that point. Looking at that as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, that would fit at that point. We'd use that low there, so that would all be the A wave, the B wave to that low, then 1 and 2 here, and then the whole third wave here, the fourth wave and the fifth wave here, and that's that. And then we would just come down from that point, so we'd see that, that and that at that point. So I don't know. I can see the variations that it can take at this point, but we just have to allow it to play out till we get to a point. It's not moving much. It's not going to go where. It's not going to affect anything as such. So that said, we'll have a look at BHP. So yeah, we looked at the bigger picture before, so I don't really need to go back over this again. We're still looking for this to have one more little low in play here. It may be, it's not going to go very far because we've seen oil go up and we've seen iron ore sort of steady up. It's, you know, it's at its $100 mark, $100 US mark. So perhaps that's good enough now for them to start sort of considering buying, and the market's anticipating that, so we'll find some support here. I don't have enough to see an impulse wave to the upside. If I look at FMG though, that's we started talking about that yesterday. If you wanted to go long, it's the same sort of pattern as ANZ here, but still not enough to tell me that it's bullish, you know. If I looked at from wave 4 here, if I looked at all of that as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, I'm just looking at the other side of the coin, taking that there roughly and to that there, that's still the 38.2% retracement, just in case I've got it wrong, you know. Just in case this, copy that text and put it there, and if that was wave 4. So this is quite handy looking at it like this, because it is a nice long wave structure here. So then it would be 50% if it found support on 1650, which is a medium level, so it's going to carry a fair bit of weight. So that would start to look pretty good over that side. But it'd be nice to see if we get 5 waves up here first. Something to, you know, I don't know if that's corrective or impulsive at this point. You know, you could look at it both ways. It's not going to make much difference at this point. I think I'm okay with that. I mean, this is quite a big structure here. It's opened up more and it's gapped more here. It's more like a third wave here, you know. Even this could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here and a third wave here, you know. So we do need to be careful. But even if it was the third wave from the top here, where would that take us up to? That would take us up to that point. So we still need to be doubly careful at that point too. I'll leave that Fibbo thing on there just to remind me that it's still dangerous at that point. So would need to know would need to see a nice structure sitting here for this, you know. It would need to be a good setup, you know. solid setup. So that means we need a clear 5 waves here, and which we've done before with this, haven't we? We came over, I can't remember where it was now. Was it here? We had this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and we went long here and we traded up here. So if we get something like that we can get out, that we can see, then we can go long at that point, Okay, sorry for waffling. I'll leave it at that. Cheers.